The final score, Shrewsbury Town 0, Wrexham 1. Wrexham's reward is an away tie at Blackburn Rovers, so I think that's pretty good actually. Nice big-sized crowd, historic club, close enough for fans to get to easily. A good reward for an excellent derby win. Wrexham going into this, of course, a division below Shrewsbury and with plenty on the agenda to try and make up for, not least that last visit there when we were beaten and virtually left to relegation. And this one, well, both sides picked full strength teams, no rotation, both unchanged from their New Year's Day wins. And Shrewsbury started fast. They got at us in our own half. They forced us backwards. They pressed really hard in our half. And for the first half hour, it was a real battle. And this is part of why this was an impressive win for Wrexham, I thought, because we dug in, we fought, and we made sure that we stayed in the game. Although Shrewsbury and have been complaining quite loudly after the match of the chances they've missed, well, the way to fix that is not to miss your chances, isn't it? Let's be honest here. They did miss those chances. And it's got to be said, apart from one very obvious exception in the first half, an awful lot of their chances were actually shots from outside or on the edge of the area, which they, is a sign of good defending. They also had a great chance at the end in injury time. That's a different matter. But the first half, like I said, Shrewsbury came at Wrexham but actually didn't carve out that many clear-cut chances. And in fact, the one they did create in the first 15 minutes was down to a mistake at the back. Fletcher looking to lay the ball off to Ford in the Wrexham penalty area, but underhit it, trying to be a little bit cute and play a bit of a no-look pass. It was intercepted by Benning, who pulled the ball back. Dunkley, 10 yards out, struck the ball on target, but a good block by O'Connor deflected it away from goal. It was almost exactly the spot that O'Connor would score from in the second half, but on this occasion the deflection was kind to the goalkeeper. And Wrexham came forwards and had a couple of decent half chances. Fletcher feeding Mullen nicely. He drove through the middle, tried to hit a curler, didn't quite keep it down. And then also a half chance, Tozer hurling in a long throw. The keeper Morosi coming over the top of the crowd, punched it, but not with great distance, and it dropped at the edge of the area to Cannon, who smashed it straight back in. Really well struck shot on target. Excellent block by Che Dunkley in front of his goalkeeper. Or looking at the replay of it again, could easily have been a goal. Another opportunity then came for Shrewsbury. Good thinking, a quick throw in, sending Bennett down the right hand side. He swept in across. Cleworth did well to get there ahead of Shipley, but the ball bounced off Cleworth's midworth. I must admit, at first I thought he'd been a little hesitant, but actually it came at a very awkward height. I think he had to try and take a touch, but Shipley came round the back of him and was really sharp and managed to toe poke it towards goal from 6 yards out. However, he didn't get any direction on it, and it was not that powerful either, and a comfortable catch for Okonkwo. Shrewsbury kept again having opportunities. A breakaway, Shipley feeding Benning, and when he fed it inside back to Shipley, he swept a glorious cross, and here was that massive first half chance. Sobowale attacking the far post, completely unmarked, but he blazed it over the bar. And I think the problem for him is he's sprinting in, he's got to take it high speed on the run, and it's bounced up and hit him on the shin. In fact, looking at the replays, pretty high up the shin, almost on his knee, and he just can't control it, and it just flies off him and over the bar. Glorious opportunity. Got to say again, though, the value of Okonkwo in goal. He's such a big guy, and he's got no chance of getting to that brilliant cross, but he gets across his goal so quickly and makes himself big. And Sobowale, well, quite apart from the fact it's a difficult height as it skips up at him, has also got this massive guy hurling himself at it, and the temptation then is always to try and go over him, but wow. It's a glorious chance anyway, which is missed. That came in the 26th minute, and that was pretty much the last noteworthy attempt of the first half. And part of that was because Wrexham started to regain their equilibrium. Equilibrium a bit. Started to be a bit tighter in midfield. Well, no, maybe that's a bit unfair. Shrewsbury, when they got at us, the midfielder dropping off and defending the back three really well. We were looking good on the breakaway, but weren't quite getting the final pass in. Often Mullen and Fletcher were having to break away on their own because we were so bedded in and defending. But like I said, there weren't that many good chances, just that Sobowale one really, for Shrewsbury. And we started to get in it and started to control possession a bit more as the half wore on. Sobowale was having a hell of a duel with O'Connor on the Shrewsbury right. And his energy and his willingness to chase everything to pop up in little unexpected places was an issue. Likewise, Shipley on the left hand side was putting in a really good shift and was providing decent quality when he was coming forwards. Bowman was at war with Tozer. Bowman, a big target man who we were interested in before the takeaway, winning a lot of headers. But having said that, the wide players weren't really running off him. And when the ball was coming into the box, areas where Bowman could really cause havoc with a header, Tozer handled him extremely well. So it was interestingly balanced. Their wing backs got forward really well also. The second half starts off with another opportunity for Shrewsbury. Coming on the breakaway, Lee trying to get to a pass from Mullin, but it was just under hit. Excellent interception. Anderson went charging down the pitch, drove the cross in. O'Connor could only get a foot onto it and tee it out to Perry on the edge of the box again, and he lashed it over the bar. Then Wrexham coming forwards. McLean with an excellent ball round the back, which put Feeney completely off balance. He fell as he tried to intercept. Mullin racing round the back from a tight angle with little support, drove in a powerful shot. Morosi fumbled it and was able to get away with it as Mullin closed in for the second attempt. Mullin had been excellent. Fletcher wasn't getting that much change out of the centre-backs. The Shrewsbury centre-backs, I thought, did a good job in the air. But Mullin was really bothering them. He was constantly waspishly buzzing around them, trying to get at them, forcing mistakes. He won a couple of corners and long throws, and he was just always looking to get off the shoulder of the defenders, and they knew that they'd be in trouble if he got past them. There were a couple of desperate interceptions, and Mullin's liveliness was really encouraging for Wrexham, as was McLean's keenness to actually feed him. And in the middle of all this, I've got to say, Evans, in the midst of the crowd in midfield, was supremely calm in the way that he used the ball. Wrexham starting to get back into the game in the second half, starting to have more of the ball in the Shrewsbury half. He and Lee doing an excellent job in terms of use of the ball. Cannon as well, tigerish and fighting away. And Wrexham started to improve, although in the 66th minute, bolt out of the blue, should have possibly been behind. Benning, a left wing back, brilliantly intercepted on the halfway line and charged at the exposed Wrexham defence. Tozer came to meet him, and Benning, I think more through luck than actual judgment, managed to nutmeg him and found himself on the edge of the D and hit the most beautiful shot with the outside of his left foot, which curled over a Concord, couldn't get near it, hit the bar and bounced away. Remarkable let-off for Wrexham. Superb play by Benning. Wrexham, though, within a minute, should have scored themselves. McLean tearing down a left flank, pulling in a great cross. Lee, totally unmarked, 8 yards out. Glorious chance, off balance. He slashed it way over the bar. A heck of an opportunity. And after that came maybe the key little moments of the match, because Phil Parkinson made 2 excellent substitutions that gave Wrexham more attacking thrust. And it's got to be said, Matt Taylor made 2 substitutions that I think sucked a lot of the momentum out of Shrewsbury. So Wrexham brought off Ford, who'd done a solid job at right wing back, and got some good early crosses in, but as the game was wearing on, wasn't getting as much supply into the box. Brought Ryan Barnett on against his old team. And then also Fletcher came off. He'd had a very heavy fall just before he came off and was limping quite badly. And Sam Dalby came on. Barnett and Dalby would really freshen things up. Taylor, meanwhile, rather bewilderingly, well, he took off Sobowale. Now, I've got to say, in the second half, that duel with O'Connor was decided. O'Connor took control of him. In the second half, Sobowale was very, very quiet. O'Connor was excellent. And so he was brought off. But also Benning, the left back, who had just hit the bar, was brought off. And I couldn't understand that. He pulled in a good cross in the first half, which led to a chance. He just hit the bar. He was really strong defensively. And like I said, Ford wasn't getting that many crosses in from that side of the pitch. They put Shipley, who'd been lively up front, back at wing back. So they lost some of his thrust. And they also put a less robust defender from what I've seen of them than Benning at left wing back. And brought 2 subs on to support the striker, Bayliss and Adoru, neither of whom really had any impact on the game until the closing moments when Bayliss was very busy, tended to lose the ball more often than not, though. And I think those 4 substitutions together were a key turning point, because Wrexham managed to get themselves on top at that point, although there was an opportunity. To beg your pardon. almost straight away, Barnett's involved and is ripping a great cross into the box. An excellent defensive header gets it clear, and Shrewsbury are penned into their penalty area for a good couple of minutes as Wrexham probe and push. In the end, Evans pulls a long distance shot well wide. But the game had changed. Wrexham were on the front foot now, and not just holding their own, but dominating and penning Shrewsbury in. And the goal comes in the 72nd minute. A corner is cleared. I must say clear. I mean, Tozer wins the corner, heads it into the goalmouth on target, and the defender blocks it in front of the goalkeeper. They really struggle. They can't get it out. Wrexham fight hard to keep them penned in. O'Connor is involved in some build-up play on the right, and when the ball is switched over to the left, he just jogs into the box. Nobody picks him up. And when the ball is fed centrally again, George Evans looks like he's going to hit it from 25 yards, but plays a disguised little reverse pass to Dalby. Dalby, calm as anything, just rolls it across square, and O'Connor takes a first-time left-foot shot. It's going in the bottom corner, and the defender, Dunkley, leans that across, gets a foot to it, and like I said, it's a mirror image of that early incident when O'Connor foils Dunkley, but this time the deflection just spins cruelly centrally in the goal. The keeper's going down to his right to try and save it. Agonising if you're a Shrewsbury fan. Beautiful if you're a Wrexham fan. Watching that ball loop from the deflection, and the keeper stretches his left arm out desperately. He just can't reach it. He's clawing thin air, and the ball goes in. Cue pandemonium. And I've got to say that in the closing stages, after that, Wrexham really looked like we'd get the second goal. In fact, I was kind of anticipating it. Shrewsbury looked a bit shocked. They didn't react well to the goal. Their fans didn't either, which is understandable. Bizarrely, Taylor brought Bowman off, and then they started going long through the middle, but they'd taken off their big target man, who's actually winning headers against Tozer. And the striker they brought on, Mata, the New Zealand international, looked fast. He was outpacing Tozer, but he didn't have much chance when they were lumping it long. It was a peculiar decision. Wrexham had another opportunity soon afterwards, a Shrewsbury corner, which Wrexham broke from brilliantly. Shrewsbury were leaving Mullin marked by one on the halfway line, which was a bizarre risk. Walsall got away with that a couple of weeks ago. Shrewsbury were lucky to. This time, the ball was cleared from the corner. Mullin charging forwards, a 2-on-2 break. Lee made a great run through the middle. Mullin found him, and uncharacteristically for Lee, one-on-one with the keeper, he took a heavy touch and the ball bounced away from him and the chance was gone. There were 2 moments in added time, though, when Shrewsbury could easily have forced a replay. And they finally, with centre-back staying up the pitch, started to keep the pressure on Wrexham and rain the long balls into the area. Both chances fell to Perry. The first one was the absolute sitter. 4 minutes of added time played. The ball is looped in to the area, headed downwards, and Perry is there 6 yards out, so 8 yards out, on his own. Glorious chance. He tried to hit it first time, his balance is off, it gets it all wrong, puts it quite well wide. I mean, it's a glorious opportunity. He has to score. And then a minute later, again, there's danger. Cross comes in, it's deflected to Perry on the edge of the area. He drives in and smashes a shot inches wide of the left post. The Okonkwo couldn't get to it. I think, to be fair though, Evans had made a huge lunge in an effort to make an interception. And for me, I suspect, looking at the replays, if it had been on target, I think Evans would have got the block in. Or deflected it into the top corner. Who knows? But anyway, final whistle went. Massive celebrations, and Wrexham are through. Looking at the performances, I mean, it's got to be said again, this idea of the Shrewsbury being hard done by. Okonkwo made one easy save. And that was it. So they didn't work him. He was good though, because in the early stages when they were putting long balls in, he was using his height and his reach brilliantly. There was one where there was a long ball which you sort of thought, at best you're going to punch that. He actually managed to stretch over Tozer and Bowman and catch it, and you think, wow, that's a big bloke with long arms, but it's very useful to have that. And his quick delivery of the ball was good as well. So, you know, he turned pressure into a counter-attack very quickly. We did counter-attack well in this match. The centre-backs all deserve great kudos. I mean, Tozer first. I thought Tozer, again, I mean, he's in excellent form, and he was so commanding at the back. He had a great scrap with Bowman, but Tozer won that battle. Huge credit to him. The other two centre backs I found interesting in the first half. Sobowale was getting at O'Connor sometimes, and I was slightly concerned by that. It was a good scrap between them. But in the second half, O'Connor, like I say, dominated the guy, and he had to go off halfway through the second half because he wasn't getting anywhere. So, really well played. Got the goal as well, and brought the ball forwards and used it well when there was a bit more space in the second half. On the other side, I thought Cleworth as well looked a tiny bit edgy. He looked a little bit reluctant to pass the ball forwards. He looked a little bit conservative to me, and made that little miscontrol on the edge of the box that could have been punished when Shipley poked the ball forward towards goal. I noticed that at the very start of the second half, Cleworth got the ball and looked to play a much more ambitious pass. He didn't get it right, but he looked to play the right pass, the progressive pass. And although he got it wrong, Tozer very notably ran across and cupped his hand and was talking to him in his ear, and was surely saying, yeah, that's what you've been told at half time. Keep doing that. Don't worry that you got that pass wrong. Keep doing it. And in the second half, I thought Cleworth was immense. Absolutely immense. He used the ball well going forwards. He passed the ball forwards. He got into the box on a couple of occasions. At one point, it looked like he might get one-on-one. He was running at the last defender, but a solid tackle stopped him. And at the other end, his defending was excellent, especially as Mata was trying to make in-to-out runs to the left-hand side, and Cleworth was snuffing him out really well. The other thing with Tozer, I said before that Mata was faster than him. He was. But Tozer was fast enough to keep close to him if he was outpaced. And as I've said on a number of occasions, he's so good at forcing that quick player wide and then boxing him in against the touchline until there's support. And he did that really well with Mata, who looks an interesting striker, but didn't get anywhere against Tozer. The wing backs, I thought Ford had a decent, solid game and put some early crosses in, but as it went on, his influence was less, I think. I mean, partly because Benning was very impressive at left wing back, and then those simultaneous substitutions sort of switched things around a bit on that flank. More of that in a moment. On the other side, McLean, handy bloke to have in a derby. I think it's the right thing to say, isn't it? Goodness me, battles away. He wins his individual battles against players. I thought Bennett was good on the right-hand side for Shrewsbury and did get some change out of McLean coming forwards. But McLean was a genuine threat in the other direction too. In the middle of the pitch, 3 excellent performances. Evans, for us in the commentary team, head and shoulders man of the match. Such class and control. He's so calm on the ball when there's pressure all around him. He brings it out. He carries it well. Passes well. He just underpinned everything. He defended the back three when we were under pressure, and he brought the ball forwards when we had it, and was the player able to make transitions. Excellent performance by Evans. Beg your pardon. Hiccups again. I don't get hiccups in this room. Why do I get hiccups in this room? Something going on here. Lee equally did very well, trying to get into attacking positions, but more importantly, his quality on the ball and also his endeavour, as always, was crucial. Made some cracking tackles as well. And then Cannon as well, battling away. He ended up getting subbed late on, but again, I think he pours everything into it. A performance full of heart from him. Up front, Fletcher didn't quite get the change that he was hoping for. He attempted an overhead kick at one point in the first half, which would have been remarkable if he'd made proper contact with it. But that wasn't quite his day, and credit to the Shrewsbury centre-back, so I thought did a very good job against him in the air. But he was always alert and looking for possibilities. Like I said before, I've already given my eulogy about Mullin. Mullin was terrific, really, really fabulous. Looking at the substitutes, like I said, I think Barnett and Dalby changed the game. Dalby was full of energy. Fletcher having worn down the centre-backs, Dalby was winning headers against them. And he was also looking a bit fresher and sharper than them. Like I said, there was a possibility for Mullin to run in. Dalby was not as fast as Mullin, but he was still making those runs down the channels and behind and stretching their defence. And nice calm assist for the goal as well. And Barnett. I mean, like I said, I'd get back to this, isn't I? You've got Shipley suddenly drop back from an attacking position to be a wing back against Barnett, who's come on because Benning's doing a good job. And so Barnett's running at Shipley, and Barnett's getting a succession of good crosses into good areas. And absolute massive credit to him. He was a real threat down the right-hand side. We brought on James Jones for Cannon with 13 minutes left, with 6 added minutes as well. can guess what I'm going to say about James Jones, can't you? He's just winning tackles, tidy on the ball, the sort of player that's very handy when you're now digging in to see out a result. Jordan Davis came on right in the last minute. There was very little time for him to make any influence. It was 94th minute. And Wrexham won. Brilliant stuff. Right, pack your bags for Leeward Park, and I'll see you there with the final score of Shrewsbury Town 0, Wrexham 1. I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.